I cannot believe the day has come where I'm making this video, but today I'm rebuilding England's most hated team, MK Dons. And MK Dons are England's most hated team because of how they came to exist. In 2003, Wimbledon FC, a historic London club, was controversially relocated over 50 miles away to Milton Keynes. Instead of forming a new team, the club's identity, league place, and history were moved to and rebranded as MK Dons. For many fans, this broke the unwritten rules of football. Clubs are meant to grow from their communities, not be bought out and moved like franchises. That move turned MK Dons into a symbol about everything fans fear about modern football. And now, I'm gonna make them Europe's best club. I feel sick. But here we go, heading up to Milton Keynes, rebuilding MK Dons. A surprising amount of you guys in the comment section have been asking for an MK Dons rebuild for a very long time. We start off in League 2, and I'm trying to escape as quickly as possible. I want us putting our mark on this squad from the jump though. I think we have a squad that can get relegated from League 2 this year, but I want to make sure it is a certainty. Callum Hendry, the striker, is out of here, and so is our captain. Controversially, I'm selling Alex Gilby. I'm trying to make sure we have a squad that can get promoted this year, but if we do get promoted, can go for back-to-back promotions and really kickstart this MK Dons era of dominance. In this first year, I want all of our signings to be players that I'm genuinely excited about. Our first signing definitely fits the mold. We pick up the Canadian striker, Jason Russell-Rowe from the Columbus Crew. Boo! But he joins us at MK Dons. We're not done with the striker signings though. Noah Bodic has been absolutely tearing it up in the A-League. He's going to join Russell-Rowe. I want these two, the American, the Australian and the Canadian rather, to form an unstoppable striker partnership. Noah Bodic signing on from Western United for 900k. The clean out continues. Craig McGillivray heads to Port Vale. 53 rated Callum Trips heading on loan. And so is Phoenix Schultz. I want more permanent transfers though. I am nowhere close to done with my business in this window. But apparently the game doesn't agree. What a frustrating second half of the window. Still so many players I wanted to sell and so many upgrades I still wanted to make. To only make the two signings of Russell-Rowe and Bodic is frustrating. They're great additions to the side, but so many more players I wanted to upgrade. I wanted a new center back. I wanted a new right back. I wanted to upgrade goalkeeper. Hopefully, we have a good start to the season and we can get all of that achieved in January. Come on. All right. We're sitting second right now, but this table is so damn close. We're 41 points. We're one of 4 teams that have 41 points. A loss drops us down to 7th, so we really need to put our foot on the throat and make business happen here in January. It's a miracle, lads. I can't believe it. Deadline day, we get our first transfer offer of the entire window. Absolutely ridiculous. Jonathan Lako wasn't somebody that I even had on my transfer list, but it's the only offer I'm willing to sell him to get some money in. I mean, you're trying to tell me that not a single club in world football doesn't want any of these guys. The top 2, Hogan and Thompson, I understand, but these 4... really, nobody wants to even put an offer in. Sometimes this game does my absolute head in. And we finally get a deal over the line. 4 hours to go in transfer window, and we sign Michael Craig as a right back from Reading. What an incredibly frustrating window and season as a whole it's been from a transfer front. Thankfully though, our frustrating transfer business has not derailed the season. We win League 2. That's a solid start to life at MK Dons, and we are going to be heading up to the 3rd division, not unexpectedly, for season 2. Man City won the FA Cup. Round of 32 exit for us, which is a great run. Southampton win the Carabao Cup. We don't need to discuss how we went there. Birmingham City win the BSM Trophy, and Walsall defeat Wimbledon, our big-time rivals, to go up to League 1. In an incredibly frustrating season, it is so nice to see our 2 summer signings absolutely delivering. Russell-Rowe, 26 goals. Bodic, 19 goals. Harrison absolutely delivering. The Welshman that is surprising to see. I might need to sell him next year though. I don't want to stunt Bodic's growth. Few players leaving us at the end of the season though. Nathan Harness and Lewington I'm letting walk on freeze. Joe White returns to Newcastle. What an absolute stud he was for us. Tempted to try bringing him back permanently. And Patterson and O'Reilly heading back to Villa. Probably won't bring them back. Very happy with how things panned out on the park, but my god, we need more action off the field. I had to do it, lads. I had to bring him back. Joe White, one of our top performers last season. We're bringing him to MK Dons on a permanent transfer, getting the English midfielder from Newcastle for 1.3 mil. And I'm hoping we can send him down the path of becoming a club icon. I can't believe it, lads. We actually got somebody we wanted to sell out of the club. Aaron Niemann heads to Wesker. Jack Tucker off to Dunkirk. Lawrence Maguire's heading to the Turkish league. I'm looking for another upgrade in the centre midfield role though. Liam Kelly also heading to the Turkish league. And we're going straight in and getting that centre midfielder. I want us to boast one of the best midfields in League One. And securing the services of the Japanese midfielder Kuryu Matsuki is going to do that. But I'm not done there. We've already hit our 2 signing quota in the summer like last year, but I want more. And for me, the next goal to upgrade is goalkeeper. We're selling Truman to the Turkish league. Really getting a good rapport with the Turkish league in this rebuild, but we're not getting his replacement from the Turkish league. We're going to be picking up Will Dennis from Bournemouth. He's 25, 69 overall. I think he'll be the perfect stopgap goalkeeper for the next couple of seasons before we need a serious upgrade. Final bit of business done in this window though, as Ellis Harrison, our absolute surprise package of last year, is sold to Frosinone. And that concludes a very, very nice transfer window. A huge contrast from last year. And this squad is absolutely pumping. Business will be done in January. It's just a matter of whether we do it at the centre back, the left back. I'm going to give these guys the first half of the season, but where will we be sitting? I want us as far away from that relegation battle as possible. Okay, that's good. That is good footy right there. We are 4th and definitely in the picture for promotion to the championship. MK Dons might be England's most hated team, but right now with how this rebuild is going on the park, they're quickly climbing up my ranks. A new centre-back is on the menu. I'm going out here. Offord's been solid, but we need that next step up. Luke Offord off to BSC Young Boys in Switzerland. And we are punching up a division to grab Liam Morrison, the Scotsman joining us from QPR for just over 2 mil. We've fallen off in the second half of the season and have bagged the final spot in the playoffs. We were 8 points out of the automatic spots with Cardiff and Wrexham. A good season for the Welsh lads, but we are battling it out with Lincoln, Rotherham and Peterborough for that final spot in the championship. The dream of back-to-back promotions still alive. The dream of staying in League One not alive though for Walsall, Leyton Orient, Crawley and Mansfield, who do get relegated. Man City win the FA Cup. No run for us this year. Arsenal win the Carabao. Slight improvement this year for us. Oxford United win the BSM trophy, but we are not going to get promoted. We have lost in the playoff semi-finals over 2 legs. Lincoln City taking us down 5-3, and they get promoted to the championship. Season 3, we stay in Division 3. Absolutely heartbreaking, but we know we're not far off the money. Noah Bodic and Russell Rowe, another great season for both of them. Russell Rowe's at a 75 already. Bodic the top goal scorer, but 75 for Russell Rowe. That is ridiculous. He's going to tear it up surely next year. Very happy as well with the growth of Matsuki, with White going up to a 70, but Matsuki up to a 74 this year is brilliant. Saying goodbye to 2 of the older players in the squad though, Scott Hogan and Nathan Thompson retire. Since we're hanging around in League One for at least another year, I want to use this time to our advantage, dominate the league and get dynamic player potential to work, which is where Miguel Brito enters the fold. We've picked up the Portuguese defensive midfielder from free agency. He is the same overall as Jay Williams. I'm transfer listing Jay Williams. I'm putting all of my efforts at the defensive midfield role into Miguel Burrito. He's 8 years younger, same overall. This is a no-brainer. It's time to go all out building what I want to be an almost invincible squad in League One. We've got our defensive midfielder. Now I want a left back, Joe Tomlinson heading to Turkey, Jay Williams heading to Dusseldorf, and Daniel Crowley, our captain. It's time to say thank you and goodbye as he heads north. We get our man, Luke Harris, a critical crossroads in his career. We're signing him from Norwich. He needs starting game time and to be a superstar on our squad. I'm happy to facilitate. Bagging somebody that's in a very similar position when it comes to the left back. Thierry Small, same age, same overall as Luke Harris, He joins us from Watford. Our squad depth is an absolute mess though. Starting 11 is sick, bench is very weak, so I'm going to put a bit of focus into that. Gatlin O'Donkor joining as a backup striker, and the Australian defensive midfielder Stanley Atkins signing on as a backup defensive midfielder. What a team we are fielding at MK Dons right now. Moving into season number 3, Brito the only man in the starting 11 that's not 70 rated, hoping that he can get up to that this year. But I'm just going to let it ride this season. I want us top of the table, and I want us getting promoted to the championship. Whether we can do that or not is a different question. We're heading to the championship. Come on, lads. Just as expected. 8 losses for the year, 84 points. MK Dons heading up to the championship alongside Plymouth Argyle. It was an incredibly tight one, but we turn it on in the second half of the season, last few weeks, and get the job done. Come on. Who's going down this year? It's Burton, Fleetwood Town, Northampton, and Salford. I think my game has glitched out because the English national team has just won the FA Cup. Okay, that seems unfair, but England's national team are heading to the Europa League next year. We went out in the third round to Sheffield United. Man United beat West Brom to win the Carabao Cup. We lost on penalties to Luton in the first round. Charlton will be winners of the BSM Trophy, and Portsmouth join us in the championship. Holy hell, lads. Okay, we're heading. I'm glad we spent an extra year in League One because Russell Rowe's 79 rated, 32 goals. Bodic, he's stalling a little bit in terms of growth, but he's still performing massively on the park. 11 and 11 for Luke Harris, who gets to a 75. We could genuinely find ourselves promoted to the Premier League at the end of next season. We've got a team that's good enough to play in the Premier League, in my opinion. At least our superstars are. What we do to improve this squad, though, into the championship is the big question. Welcome to life in the championship. It is season number 4, and we are coming out with a defensive signing to start off life in the championship. French defender Axel Gillet joining us from Dunkirk. Can't lie, we've got some really tough calls to make this season. Some calls, not this one, but another one that I'm not fully sold on and don't feel great about. Sam Sharing heading to Birmingham. Would have been nice to keep him on the bench, but we need the money. Holy hell, we could get like £55 million for Russell Rowe. I might have a decision on my hands in the coming seasons. I want to keep him in the championship this year, but this dude is progressing insanely. Albert Wood, off to Romania, big money. But this is the one that I felt really on the fence about. We are selling our club captain. I didn't know whether to give another year or 2 to Joe White or try learning him out, but I'm going to cash in and sell him to West Brom. I can't lie though, I expected to sell him for much more money when we initially signed him from Newcastle. I mean, we had big expectations. I spoke about wanting him to be a club legend in this rebuild, but he's 24 years of age, 71 overall. It just isn't going to happen. And it all feels worth it after this signing right here. Our midfield has gone full Japanese. Corday Sano joining us from Las Palmas, 9.2 mil. That's the type of signing that gets you promoted. And on top of that, trying to improve the stock of our reserves. Lewis Brunt joining us as a defender, and Martin Tejon joining us as a backup attacking midfielder. Trending in a really nice direction with this squad. I can't lie though, the temptation is absolutely there to cash in on Russell Rowe and use the money we would get from the Canadian to go and finance the signing of like 3 or 4 genuine starting players that I think would set us up long term. But I also want to see how far we can push it with Russell Rowe. We're going to have a really tough question to answer in a couple seasons time, if not this season, but we'll see how we start off life in the championship, because right now, I mean, we'd have to sell some players if I wanted to make a January signing. Okay, this is probably where I expected to be. We're sitting 15th right now in the championship with 27 points. We are only 4 points out of the relegation zone. Blackburn with 23. And then on the flip side, we are, I say only, we are 12 points roughly out of the playoffs. I don't think we can even put our eyes on promotion this year. This year needs to be about survival. I think we will do that, but I've got a tough call. Do I want to just keep things the way they are, or do I want to try selling Russell Rowe and improve the entirety of the squad? Honestly, he's gone up to an 82 already. If we can hold on to him for another 6 months and he's next year like an 83, 84, that's an extra 10, 15, maybe 20 million pounds we could get just by holding on to him for another 12 months. And honestly, if I was to cash in on him, I would get 2 strikers and a right back. Nah, I'm holding on. I'm holding on to Russell Rowe. I'm giving him another 6 months at the club, and probably selling him on Gareth Bale, Tottenham, to Real Madrid style next year. 16th in the championship. We survive comfortably. Blackburn go down with 43 points. So we were 13 points clear. We were never really in the danger zone, but we were also never really in the hunt. It's all going to put a lot of pressure onto next year. And what we do regarding Russell Rowe. Do we cash in? It'll really depend on what our budget's looking like, to be honest. Well, wouldn't you know it? England's gone back-to-back as FA Cup champions. Why is this happening? They beat Ipswich. We go out in the third round, which is disappointing. West Ham win the Carabao. Another disappointing showing there. We've really done nothing this year. Coventry heading up to the Premier League, but in a pretty forgettable season. I mean, that's really bad overall, but Russell Rowe getting 19 goals is brilliant. 25 years of age, 83 overall. Clearly our star. Bodic hasn't really stepped up in the championship. We need to improve striker next year. But season 5 needs to be a massive inflection point in this rebuild. We enter this season, we've only been given £7 million. I'm going to have to do it. £7 million isn't going to plug all of the gaps we've got in our squad. Jason Russell-Rowe, you're an absolute stud. If I held on to you, I'm confident you'd get to the 90s, but we need to do it for the betterment of this rebuild. I'm throwing him on the transfer list. If we can sell him for like 70 to 80 mil, we can get 3 players that are around the 20 to 30 million mark each. That will help us massively in the long term. I just negotiated a deal for Russell Rowe. We are going to get so much money than I initially expected. It is such a bittersweet day. I've sold Russell Rowe, and I don't want to see him go, but we are rich. He gets his big move to Chelsea. We get £103 million. First things first, we need a new starting striker, and we have got our man, 80 rated Antonio Raimondo, Italian striker from Venezia, 22.5 mil. And on the very next day, we're going to get his new striker partner, Brazilian Felipe Augusto. I want to use this money to transform the entire squad. This is going to be fun. This is going to change the trajectory of MK Dons. Next up, we get our right back into the squad, ladies and gentlemen. Belgian defender Jacqueline Says joins us from Strasbourg, and I bet you guys didn't see this transfer coming. Goalkeeper is a position where I love to get decently rated players for really, really cheap prices. We're going for an experienced goalkeeper, 33 years of age, but 81 overall. It is the Croatian keeper, Dominik Livakovic, joining us from the French league. I'm actually shocked that we pulled this one off. We got him for the cheapest price tag, £5.4 million. That is a drop in the ocean compared to what we've done this season. I'm pumped. Look at the difference. Look at the difference now that we sell Russell Rowe. Our whole starting 11 is so strong. Our lowest rated players are Brito and Gillet, who I'm certain are going to grow throughout this season. And the best part, we still have £26 million in our back pocket. I fully intend on using it as well in January. It's just a question of where we use it and where we're sitting in the table. I'm hoping we're sitting top of the table. 1st of January, Southampton are the gold standard, but I've got my eyes set on Norwich. We're 6 points behind them. We are in the playoff spots comfortably. 8 points ahead of Everton. We're closer to Norwich than we are Everton, who are right behind us. But the playoffs are a gauntlet. I want automatic promotion. Mate, we're also into the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Imagine if we don't get promoted. Imagine if we do. I'm going to think very positively right here. Imagine if we do get promoted and we win the Carabao Cup. We get to the Premier League and immediately are playing Europa League football. That could be incredible. But honestly, one step at a time. So here's my game plan. We're making a massive centre-back signing. Centre-back is an issue, a position where we're having a little bit of a lag. CJ Egan-Riley is going to join us from Rangers here. A massive upgrade to our back line. He's going to be a no-brainer, a starter. £23 million to bring him in. Now, some of you guys might think I might look to sell on Liam Morrison. I'm actually going to keep Morrison as the starting centre-back, and I'm going to throw Axel Gillette on the loan list. Hasn't grown this season, so I'm hoping that can spark something out of him. Screw it. Let's watch it, lads. EFL Cup, first leg, Stadium NK. We're versing Tottenham. Luke Harris suspended, and we go down 3-1. The dream of playing Europa League football next year looks almost out of the picture. Before that second leg, though, we do get the desired loan move for Axel Gillette. The Frenchman going to spend the next 6 months at Nottingham Forest. Curious to see how it pans out. But here we go. Second leg. I'm not holding out too much hope, but let's see if we can pull off a miracle against Tottenham. We go down 6-3 on aggregate. Semi-finals is a valiant run, but now all of our attention turns to getting promoted out of the championship. Our slow start costs us by that much. We finish 4 points short of automatic promotion, but we are still alive in the playoffs against Burnley, Everton, and Norwich. Southampton absolutely dominate. We're trying to join them in the Premier League next season. Going down to League One, it is going to be Cardiff, Bolton, and Oxford. Tottenham beat Burnley to win the FA Cup, and they also win the Carabao Cup against Newcastle. I'm still pumped about our semi-final run though. But we are heading to Wembley Stadium, lads. We have beaten Everton 4-2 in the Championship playoffs. We're going to be versing Burnley, the runners-up in the FA Cup. I'm hoping they're runners-up in the promotion battle as well. They are. Come on. Come on. Come on. We are heading to the Premier League. I'm pumped, man. Our risky decision to sell Russell Rowe has paid off. Milton Keynes Dons take down Burnley and are heading to the Premier League. Oh my God. Raimondo has bagged himself 44 goals this season. The Italian stallion Antonio Raimondo, 44 goals. He is looking lively as we get ready for life in the Premier League. Luke Harris, 83 overall, our absolute midfield maestro. Noah Bodic off the bench, scoring more goals than he did starting last year. And an okay start to life at MK Dons for Felipe Augusto. Two men that have been here since day one that will not be joining us in the Premier League though. Charlie Waller and Seb Stacey. I'm going to let both of their contracts expire. Premier League bound with MK Dons, England's most hated club, are heading to the top flight. Let's get into Season 6. We're into the Premier League, and I think we have a squad that can easily escape relegation and start off in the top half of the table. But there are a few additions I think we need to make if this is going to be a reality. I've put a lot of faith into the youngsters, but right now we need an upgrade with MK Dons. Elliot Anderson, the first signing of the Premier League era at CDM. The Englishman returns to England after a spell at Bologna. With Anderson into the squad, I'm going to give Brito a loan move. Still some growth available for him. We're sending him to Brentford. Jack Sanders heading to Turkey permanently and clearing out another piece of deadwood, Joel Anchor off to Poland. We've upgraded from a young player at defensive midfielder. I'm doing the same at centre back. Once again, not saying goodbye permanently, just a loan move here for the Frenchman Axel Gillet. A +3 upgrade to the back line. And another Englishman coming here, another upgraded older Englishman, Tiden Mengi, 27 years of age, looking to really secure our back line. We pick him up from relegated Luton Town. We're in the Premier League, and this is the team MK Dons have. This team is way too good to be getting relegated. I'm feeling very confident about how this first season's going to pan out. But let's see if that's false confidence. Okay, this is not quite the position I expected us to be in. We are sitting 14th right now. 8 draws are killing us though. We're 5 points ahead of safety, but 8 draws has absolutely... we could be up in a European spot if we just converted those into damn wins. 4 wins, 8 draws, 7 losses. I don't see the need in blowing up anything in the starting 11 though. I'm going to trust what we've built, and I'm going to only add to the bench in this window, picking up a young Czech midfielder, Dominic Czech, from Kortrijk in the Belgian league. But like I said, trusting in the process that we can turn those draws into wins and climb up this table. But right now, honestly, I just don't want us getting relegated. All right, I can live with this, lads. I probably came in a little too cocky, a little too boisterous this year. We end up finishing 14 points out of the relegation zone with Leicester, Ipswich, Bristol going down, but we live to fight another day in the Premier League. Only 1 draw in the second half of the season, which I love to see. Top of the table, it is going to be Manchester City, 12 points clear and champions of England. Newcastle win the FA Cup. We went out on penalties to Manchester United in the round of 16. But we are playing European football next year. We have won the Carabao Cup. Come on, lads. We beat Brighton 2-0 in the final. Villa 5-2 in the semis. That is brilliant. Swansea in the quarters. We have won the Carabao Cup with MK Dons. That is a massive silver lining on this season. And taking a look at the other tournaments, the Champions League goes to Chelsea over Monaco, the bloody Radamel Falcao derby. Roma win the Europa League, and Real Betis win the Conference League. Raimondo, what a season here for the Italian stallion. 28 goals up to an 84 overall. Felipe Augusto, we're going to have a really interesting decision with him though. Not growing too much, but bagging himself 24 goals, which is absolutely superb. Luke Harris to an 86. Matsuki, our captain, to an 85. Elliot Anderson, a solid first season for him as well. Axel Gillette only goes up to a 79 overall, though, on his loan spell at Crystal Palace, just +1 growth. But Miguel Brito goes up to an 81. We are going to have... I'm not sure what I'm going to do there next year. I might honestly send him out on another loan or keep him in the squad, but I'm glad to see Brito growing. Going to be saying goodbye to 3 players who started at the start of this rebuild. Connor Evans, Phoenix Schultz, and Callum Trips. I'm letting all of their contracts expire. Winning the Carabao Cup has put us into the Conference League. I want to use this as a springboard up the Premier League and up European football as a whole. We're going to get ourselves a new young goalkeeper. Livakovic has been solid, but it's time for the next era. German Dennis Seaman. And I'm not done there. I'm going to start cashing in on some players. Dennis became our 3rd string keeper. I'd rather get the 6.2 mil. And after 1 year at the club, Mengi, he was really a placeholder. He hasn't gone up in overall. I couldn't deny him this move to Liverpool either. This works for everybody. We get 26 mil. We can put that towards a new star. And for me, that new star is going to be Belgian defender Matt Smets. The 26-year-old signs on from Goodison Park, £30 million. Big money, but I think we've got ourselves a guy that can be here when we win a Champions League title. And I've made the call. I'm sticking with Anderson for now. Brito's going to go on loan to Aston Villa for 2 years, but I honestly can't see him staying out the full 2 years. I'm going to keep an eye on him, but the second they hit the same overall, I'm probably going to recall Brito, get him into the starting 11, and then cash in on Anderson. But for now, we need the extra +2 to help us with our results. So many damn questions this year. I look at this squad, and I'm like, we could be qualifying for the Champions League with this squad. Yes, there are still some weaker areas, but overall, our starting 11 is so damn strong. I don't want to find us in January in the relegation battle. I want to find us in the top 4 battle. And I also want to find us in the hunt for the Conference League. Yes, doing well in the Conference League, winning the Conference League wouldn't get us Champions League football, but it would give us a hell of a lot of confidence and a guaranteed route to the Europa League at the bare minimum for this year. Well, the draws don't seem to be a problem to start this season. We are sitting 12th right now, 23 points, some big dogs right behind us. 9 points clear of the relegation zone. Villa in the relegation zone, which is surprising. But we have got some serious ground to make up if we want to get any sort of European football this year. Things have gone well for us, though, in the Conference League. Not at the top of the table, but we are going to be heading into the automatic rounds. And as far as I'm concerned right now, we might have to put all of our eggs into the Conference League basket if we want to get European football next year. And Felipe Augusto is having a stinker up top this year. Just 1 goal and 1 assist for him. I'm throwing him on the transfer list. Let's go get ourselves a new striker. Russell Rowe has been nominated for the UEFA Team of the Year in the forwards department. Our man has just gone to other heights since he left us, which is good to see, but also devastating at the same time. Here we go. It is time to go find ourselves a new striker. Liam Morrison going to Leicester for just under 12 mil, and Felipe Augusto heading to West Ham United, 32.5 mil. I wanted to sell Morrison because obviously we're not going to be able to finance a top tier striker just off the Augusto money alone. We needed that extra £10 million to help take us to the next tier of striker. Mission successful, ladies and gentlemen. We've bagged ourselves a new striker. It is a man we all know well, returning to the Premier League after a spell in the Bundesliga. It is the Irishman, Evan Ferguson. 84 overall in this save. We signed him from Dortmund for 35 mil. And I pray that he can guide us to Conference League glory. That slow start to the season has cost us massively. We finish 10th in the league right now. 15 wins, 8 draws, 15 losses, an even goal differential, and just 6 points out of European football. Nowhere near the Champions League, but Europa League, Conference League again was definitely up for grabs. Another league title for Man City. Man United, Villa escape relegation. Man United very close to getting relegated as well, though. Arsenal win the FA Cup. 3rd round exit to Man United for us. Tottenham win the Carabao Cup. We went out in the semi-finals. The Carabao Cup seems to be our competition. Leverkusen, led by Kylian Mbappe, win the Champions League. Napoli win the Europa. But this is the big one. Our only path to some European football next year is through the Conference League. We finish 8th. We skip the playoffs. We go to the round of 16 where we win 6-0 into the quarterfinals where we lose to Molde on penalties. We have lost in a very, very easy final 8. We lose to Molde who go on and lose to Legia Warsaw. We could have and should have won the damn Conference League this year. That is so damn frustrating. A season of so close, but so far. Raymondo was so damn solid. Ferguson, great second half of the year for him. Excited to see a full season under his belt. But we need to turn things up a notch next year. We cannot afford to be mid-table and just hovering with some of the superstars we have. We will crack on, but we will not be cracking on with Kane Thompson-Summers, Ronnie Sanford, or Lewis Brunt, who are all departing the club. But we have got to be better in Season 8 with MK Dons. We have only the Premier League to focus on here in Season 8, and I want to put all of our effort into it. I want this to be the turning point in the rebuild. Making some big calls, some controversial calls perhaps. Thierry Small sold to Man City, 41 mil is very good for him. One of my favorite things in a rebuild is signing a player that is higher overall, younger, and paying less than what you sold the player originally in their position for. That is exactly what we've done with Miles Lewis Skelly, the Englishman joining us here from Toulouse, back in the Premier League, former Arsenal man joining us at MK Dons, and we have paid less than what we sold Small for. 35 mil for Lewis Skelly. That's the left-hand side taken care of. Now it's time to take care of the right. João Quincy's heading to Brentford for 32 mil. And when it comes to right back, we have signed Luis Carvajal, Spanish defender, 35 mil from Mallorca. Dude looks like an absolute stud. Our squad depth is absolutely horrible through nobody else's fault but my own. I need to make a change to that. Fabio Lopez in as a backup left back. One of the craziest haircuts I've ever seen. It's the Japanese defender, Henry Chase, joining us from Blackburn. And finally, Amadou Kone comes as another backup defensive midfield option. Speaking of defensive midfielder, I've decided to keep Elliot Anderson as the starter here. I'm going to let Brito go through his entire loan spell because he only has gone up to an 82 overall last year at Aston Villa, which is completely disappointing. Still hope for him, but we'll see what he does this year at Villa. I almost wish they had got relegated last season so he could have got a season in the Championship to just dominate. 2 departures have helped finance an incredible looking squad. Anderson goes up to an 85. Great start to the season. I don't know if I'm crazy for saying this, but I think if we were in the Champions League this year, we would be genuine contenders. When I'm doing a rebuild, I try to get as many players to the 85 in the starting 11 as possible. I think once you have a player to an 85, then you are in Champions League winning contention. This team, the fact we finished 10th last year is ridiculous to me. Anything but top 4 football this year when the Premier League is our only commitment is going to be a monumental failure for me. Top 4 or nothing. Come on! We are heading to the Champions League finally. Finally with MK Dons. We weren't even close to the top 3, but we have got in there. Brighton, Premier League champions. We get into the top 4 with 66 points. What a weird looking top 8. Southampton in there. Liverpool, Tottenham mid-table. Manchester United near the relegation battle again. But we are heading to the Champions League in season number 9. Come on. Arsenal win the FA Cup. We lost to them in the round of 16. Man City win the Carabao. Looks like no run for us there this year. I don't care though. I'm just happy we got top 4. Napoli beat Wolfsburg to win the Champions League. If we could have some runs like that next year, I'd be very happy. Bayern Munich win the Europa League and Stuttgart win the Conference League. Raymondo is an absolute beast. 28 goals, 89 overall. Oh my God. Ferguson's had a decent year. Harris is an absolute stud as well. We're scoring goals for fun right now. Lewis Skelly up to an 85. Anderson an 85. How did old mate go? Miguel Brito goes to an 83. He comes back next year. Honestly, he's got 42 million. I don't know whether I cash in on him or sell Anderson, but that'll be a decision for season number 9. Bring it on. MK Dons in the Champions League. He's gone, lads. He's gone. I've decided to sell Elliot Anderson, the redhead defensive midfielder heading to Southampton, but I will not be giving the starting 11 defensive midfielder role to Miguel Brito. He's going to be a backup. Instead, we are breaking our club record transfer fee and acquiring one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. It is the Turkish defensive midfielder, 88 overall, 25 years of age, Osman Kara. We bag his services from Brentford, £80 million spent. The improvement of our reserves will continue. Cameron Humphreys in as a backup center midfielder. The young Frenchman Hugo Masson joins as a very, very good backup striker. And after a year away, João Quinçais is back at the club, signing him as a backup right back option. Welcome back, mate. I want a one and done Champions League rebuild. Why not, fellas? Why not? Look at this team. You can't look at this team and tell me that this isn't a team that can win a Champions League title. We are absolutely stacked. Our bench is absolutely stacked. We've cleaned out a lot of deadwood, and we are on a collision course with MK Dons hopefully winning a Champions League title. But we're into the Champions League for the first time. Things start off very difficultly. We start off with a clash against PSG. Then we've got Inter Milan. Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. What is this start? AZ Alkmaar, Brondby. So it's starting to ease up a little bit. Besiktas in December. Away at Frankfurt. And finally, we're going to end it away at Lazio. This is not an easy Champions League phase. But I'm hopeful that we've done enough to get past this test and get ourselves into the knockout rounds. Come on, MK Dons. Undefeated in league phase play. That makes me feel incredible, especially given the start we had. We finished 6th with MK Dons, 18 points. We skip the playoffs and we are heading directly into the round of 16 with MK Dons. Anderlecht. Anderlecht went undefeated as well. There's some good teams this year. Things are not going too much to plan at the moment. I mean, we are only 3 points out of the top 4 here on the 1st of February, but we currently sit 7th in the Premier League, which is not good enough. But for now, we wait and see who we verse in the round of 16. And the answer to that is Celta Vigo. Who did they beat on their way here? Celta Vigo came back from 2-0 down against PSG to win 3-2 on aggregate. We cannot take the Spanish side lightly. No Carvajal for the away leg. He is suspended, so Says comes into the starting 11. We take on Celta Vigo in Spain. First leg, a 1-0 victory. Matsuki gives us the advantage to take back to Milton Keynes. It's not the world's safest lead, but it is a lead nonetheless. Carvajal back in here. Stadium MK playing host to Champions League knockout round football for the first time. And we go to extra time. Sandoval puts a brace against us. Ferguson, the hero in extra time. We knew we couldn't take Celta Vigo lightly. They almost take us out, but we're into the quarterfinals. And for the quarterfinals, Borussia Dortmund. This is an open quarterfinals. Juventus behind, Barcelona behind in their respective matchups. This is our time to strike. First leg, full strength starting 11 on the road once again. Signal Iduna Park. Come on, lads. Come on, MK Dons. Get the job done. We do. Ferguson scores against his former side. It is a missed penalty for our Raymondo. Egan Riley with the yellow card. I'm hoping we have done enough to get the job done as we set ourselves up for the second leg at home. Okay, Egan Riley is sweet. We're into the second leg here, trying to get ourselves into the semi-finals. 2-1 up. It's not comfortable, but it is going to be enough. Matsuki yellow card, which is not ideal. Masson scores off the bench, but we are heading to a Champions League Final 4, taking down Dortmund 4-2. The game said, you've taken down one German giant, why not another? We have been drawn against Bayern Munich, an all-Italian affair in the other semi-final, but we're focused on taking down Munich. Starting off at home for the first leg, I don't know if that's a good omen, but we are undefeated throughout the entire tournament. Not a single loss. I don't want to start right now. First leg against Bayern Munich, and it is far from that. 3-1 up at Raimondo. Raimondo, our star striker, has suffered an injury in the 46th minute. Oh no. Please, 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 not a bad one. Raimondo's injured. How long is it going to be for? 6 weeks. He's definitely out for the second leg. Oh, he might... If we hold on, he might be back for the Champions League final. We must hold on. Traveling to Munich, Raimondo 90 rated and injured, 82 Masson in. Come on, fellas. 3-1 up. We win at 3-2. Masson scores, Ferguson scores, Harris scores, and we are heading to a Champions League final here in Season 9 with Milton Keynes. And now I say a prayer that Raimondo is back for the final. But that yellow card in the 86th minute for Smets is going to see him suspended for the final. We might be walking into this Champions League final incredibly understrengthed. A unique final though, the 2033 Champions League final. It's last year's winners Napoli versus MK Dons. We don't get Napoli in many Champions League finals. I look around the grounds, Arsenal win the Europa League. That's a good omen. An English club beating an Italian one, that's a great omen. Parma beat Nice to win the Conference League. But quite upsettingly, that puts so much more pressure on us. We finished 4 points away from Champions League football, 6th in the Prem. And if we don't win tonight, then we're not going to get another opportunity until season 11. That is so pressureful, man. Man United have had a stinker in this episode. Brentford win the FA Cup, and Chelsea are going to win the Carabao Cup. Raimondo will be playing in the Champions League final, though. He's got the bandage, and that's good enough for me. I'm getting Raimondo back into the starting 11, Bodic onto the reserves, Masson back onto the bench. And this is why we're pumped to have him. 29 goals this year for Raimondo. What a season for him and Ferguson and Harris. Harris has been so damn consistent in this entire rebuild, and I'm hoping he can deliver for us tonight. The Champions League final, MK Dons, Napoli. Here we go with England's most hated team. He's done us for pace there, man. I'm trying to defend. They get the long shot. Block City right now, man. Another shot. Last minute save from Seaman. Oh my God, what a ball. How have we allowed them that much space? Osimhen is going to miss that. Osimhen, I thought we were behind for sure there. Oh, get that away. They've gone for the bicycle. It falls to the back post here to Waneri, who tries to go back post. What has happened there? I don't think Seaman knew anything about that. Get that away. Nice. No. Oh my God, what a save. We are so lucky. Osimhen going there. They've put that one on a platter. Egan Riley, that is great flexible defending. Come on. We don't deserve anything out of this, but if we could smash and grab at the end, oh my God, that just sums up our play. I've looked so flat offensively, and we are lucky to even be in extra time. Napoli playing us off the park, somehow scoreless into the extra time period. Feed it. We've timed that brilliantly there, Sano. I see the hand at the back post. Square it. Shoot it. Oh, what is that attempt of a finish? I'm making a move here. 105th minute. Luke Harris absolutely knackered. I'm bringing on the Spaniard, Tejon. We need a spark, man. It's good out there. Ferguson. Nice ball. Gives a lot of space for Tejon. We've got options. I see the man underneath. Tejon's got the fresh legs. Squares it. Raimondo scores. Come on the counter attack. I saw all the white jerseys opening up, and I was so in my own head that I was going to stuff that up. We have looked so flat creatively and with our final pass today, but we make it count when it matters most. 117th minute, Tejon, the fresh legs, you can feel it. He felt so smooth. I should have probably taken another touch, but that finish is good enough. And we, with Raimondo, not even at 100%, is going to surely win us a Champions League. Now we just have to defend. I don't like this. Off the kickoff. Yes, what a tackle, Gillette. The man that's in for the game makes the final tackle, and we are going to win a Champions League title with England's most hated club, MK Dons. And it is going to be our captain, the great Japanese midfielder, a leader for us through this entire journey, Matsuki, who is going to lift the Champions League title for MK Dons. Lads, if you enjoyed today's rebuild, make sure you click here to subscribe and click here to watch me complete a rebuild with England's worst team.